If you do me the favor of subscribing, I will work tirelessly to continue producing awesome stories with stunning visuals for your enjoyment. Thank you.
My name is Adunni Adeleke, and until 3 days ago, I thought I was living the perfect life in Lagos. I was the only child of Chief Babatunde Adeleke, the oil magnate who owned half of Victoria Island. Our family compound in Banana Island was legendary. 20 bedrooms, an Olympic-sized pool, and the garage full of Rolls Royces and Ferraris. I had never known want, never known struggle. But I should have known that in Lagos, when something seems too perfect, there's always a darker truth hiding underneath. It all started when Papa died suddenly of a heart attack during a business meeting at the Civic Center. The whole of Lagos elites came to his funeral, governors, senators, Nollywood stars, even some heads of state from neighboring countries. I stood there in my black Versace dress, accepting condolences, thinking I was now the heir to a $500 million empire. Little did I know I was about to discover I wasn't Papa's only child. 3 days after the burial, our family lawyer, Barrister Emeka Okafor, called me to his law chambers on Broad Street. I expected a simple reading of Papa's will. Everything to me, maybe some charity donations, the usual rich man's legacy. But when I walked into that mahogany paneled office, I found 19 other people sitting there. Adunni, Barrister Okafor said, his voice shaking, I need you to sit down for this. What's going on? Who are all these people? That's when he dropped the bomb that shattered my world. These are your brothers and sisters. Your father had 20 children. The room started spinning. I looked around at faces I'd never seen before, some light-skinned like me, others dark, some clearly mixed race, ages ranging from 16 to 45, a house help from Ikoyi, a Danfo driver from Mushi, a banker from Victoria Island, a market trader from Alaba, a nurse from Luth, even a Yahoo boy from Lekki. This is impossible, I screamed. Papa only had me. Mama died when I was 5. He never remarried. Barrister Okafor's hands trembled as he opened an envelope. Your father lived a very complicated life, Adunni, and according to his will, the $500 million estate is to be divided equally among all his children. That meant each of us would get about $25 million. My inheritance had just been cut by 95%. But that wasn't even the worst part. As we all sat there in stunned silence, a woman about my age stood up. She was beautiful, the kind of beauty that stops traffic on Ozumbambadiwe Avenue. Her name was Fumi, and she worked as a secretary in a company in Ikeja. Actually, she said, her voice steady, despite the chaos, there's something else you all need to know. She pulled out a folder from her handbag. I've been investigating our father for 2 years, ever since I found out he was my biological father. I hired a private investigator. What he discovered is bigger than just having 20 children. The room fell silent. Even Barrister Okafor couldn't speak. He looked confused. Our father wasn't just an oil magnate. He was the head of the largest money laundering operation in West Africa. That $500 million is dirty money, blood money. She spread photographs across the lawyer's desk, bank statements, meeting photos, documents with foreign names. Chief Adeleke was washing money for drug cartels, arms dealers, and corrupt politicians across Africa. The oil business was just the front. I felt my knees go weak. My perfect father, my hero, was a criminal? But Fumi wasn't done. And there's more. 3 of our siblings here today, they don't know it yet, but they have been working for Papa without knowing he was their father. She pointed to a young man in an expensive suit. Oscar, over there, you've been laundering Papa's money through your bank for 5 years. Then to a tough-looking guy with tribal marks. And Tunde, you've been Papa's enforcer. Every time someone tried to expose his business, you were sent to handle them. The room erupted into chaos. Siblings screaming at each other, accusations flying, the lawyer trying to restore order. But the real shocker was yet to come. As we were all arguing, the youngest sibling, a 16-year-old girl named Blessing, who looked exactly like me, stood up and walked to the window. "You want to know the real truth?" she said quietly, but her voice cut through all the noise. "I'm not just Papa's daughter, I'm also his spy." Everyone turned to stare at her. For the past 2 years, I've been living in his house in Banana Island, pretending to be a house girl. Papa hired me to watch Adunni and report back on her activities. My blood turned to ice. "What are you talking about?" "He suspected you were planning to kill him for his money, Adunni. He knew about your frequent meetings with that doctor in Ikoyi, the one who supplies untraceable poisons to Lagos society wives." "That's insane. I loved Papa." "Then explain this," Blessing said, pulling out her phone and playing a recording. It was my voice, clear as day. "Dr. Badmus, I need something that would look like a heart attack, clean, untraceable. My father has to die before the end of the month or I will lose everything." The room fell dead silent. Every pair of eyes was on me. That's not, I never. But even as I denied it, I remembered that conversation. 6 months ago, when I found out Papa was planning to change his will, when I discovered he had been secretly supporting other children, when I realized my perfect life was built on lies. I had tried to kill my father, and I had succeeded. What happened next was like something out of a Nollywood thriller, but deadlier. Tunde, the enforcer brother, stood up slowly. His hand moved to his waistband. "So let me get this straight," he said, his voice dangerously calm. "Our sister here poisoned our father, and now she wants to inherit his blood money?" Wait! Barrister Okafor tried to intervene, but it was too late. Oscar, the banker brother, was already on his phone. "I'm calling EFCC right now. If this money is dirty, we need to..." "Nobody's calling anybody," said another sibling. A woman I now knew was called Amaka. She was clearly street smart, probably from one of Lagos' toughest neighborhoods. "You call EFCC, they seize everything. None of us gets anything. But if we handle this ourselves..." That's when I realized the true horror of the situation. My 19 newly discovered siblings weren't just fighting over money. They were planning to eliminate each other. The room divided into factions. Team 1, led by Tunde, wanted to turn me in for murder and split my share. Team 2, led by Oscar, wanting to report everything to authorities. Team 3, led by Amaka, planning to keep the money and handle problems permanently. Team 4, the younger siblings, too scared to pick a side. But the most dangerous person in the room wasn't any of them. It was Fumi, the investigator. She had been quiet for too long. "Actually," she said with a smile that chilled my soul, "none of you are getting any money." Fumi walked to the center of the room like she owned it. "You see, while you have all been fighting, I've been making moves. That private investigator I hired, he works for the DEA, American Drug Enforcement Agency. They've been tracking Papa's operation for 3 years. She pulled out an official-looking document. This is a seizure order. Every single asset Chief Adeleke owned is now frozen by international law enforcement. The houses, the cars, the bank accounts, everything. But you are his daughter too," Oscar stammered. Fumi laughed. "It sounds like breaking glass." "Actually, I'm not." The room went dead silent. "My real name is Agent Fumilayo Williams, undercover DEA. I've been investigating your father for 2 years, getting close to his organization, gathering evidence." She looked directly at me. "Adunni, that doctor you bought the poison from, he's been working with us the whole time. We have video evidence of everything." My legs gave out completely. I collapsed into the chair. "The only reason you're not in the handcuffs right now is because we needed this meeting. We needed all of Papa's associates and family members in one room. As if on cue, the office doors burst open. Armed agents in bulletproof vests flooded in. Everyone on the ground, now! But as I lay face down on that expensive carpet, handcuffs coughing into my wrists, I heard Fumi's voice one more time. "Oh, Adunni, your father knew you were trying to kill him. That heart attack wasn't from your poison." I looked up at her, confusion mixing with terror. He killed himself, left a note saying he couldn't live with what he had become, and he couldn't bear to watch his favorite daughter become a monster like him. 6 months later, I'm sitting in Kirikiri maximum security prison, waiting for my trial for attempted murder and money laundering. But here's the thing that keeps me awake at night. Last week, I got a letter from Barrister Okafor, the real one, not the actor who played him in that office. "Dear Adunni, I hope this letter finds you well. I need to tell you something that the authorities don't know yet. Your father's will was fake. The one Agent Williams showed you was a forgery. The real will was hidden in a safety deposit box in Switzerland. According to the real will, you inherit everything, but only if you can prove you didn't kill him. The twist? Your father left video evidence that he faked his own death to test all his children. He's alive, Adunni, living in exile in Dubai. He wanted to see which of his children would choose family over money, love over greed. You all failed the test. But he's giving you one more chance. If you can unite your siblings, expose the truth about Agent Williams' illegal operations, and prove that family means more than wealth, he will reveal himself and restore your inheritance. The choice is yours." As I finish writing this story, a prison guard approaches my cell. "Adunni Adeleke, you have a visitor." I looked up to see a familiar figure in an expensive suit walking down the corridor. A man I thought was dead. A man with my eyes and my smile. "Papa." "Hello, my daughter," he said softly. "Are you ready to learn what family really means? What would you do if you discovered your parent had 19 other children? Would you choose family over money? Let me know in the comments below."
Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.